Chapter 8. Description of Incarnations of Datta. People who aspire from Brahma Jnana are Brahmins. Next day, after finishing the daily worship, Tirumala Das began to narrate. My dear Shankar, when the revelation of the soul takes place, the 16 potencies merge with their respective elements. The powers of various deities enter into the basic origin of consciousness. The knowledge of self and all actions get absorbed in the form of Brahman. Whoever yearns for such Brahmajnana is really a Brahmin. Life, fate, sky, air, fire, water, earth, organs of the body, mind, food, water, thought, mantras, actions, worlds, and the different kinds of names in this world are called the 16 potencies. Sripada Srivallabha is a comprehensive incarnation of Parabrahma endowed with all 16 potencies. Food becomes mind. By sattvic food, mind purification takes place. Brahma created life at first. Life is the totality of life in the universe. This is called the subtle soul and Hiranyagarbha. The creator also has the name Hiranyagarbha. The urge or drive for creation in the physical, mental, and intellectual facets of man is named prana. The pranamaya kosha body is called Shakti Sharira. The physical troubles can be removed by correcting the life consciousness. Before a man's physical body becomes ill, the layer of life forces gets ill. The gross body becomes ill only afterwards. It is only after the life forces are studied that the five elements are formed. The five organs are created to perceive the attributes of the five elements. The mind is formed to coordinate these organs and to oversee that all the functions take place at the same time. Human beings should observe adequate precautions in the matter of food. The mind is formed out of the infinitesimal components of food. If the mind is strengthened by food, thoughts abound. When this streams of thoughts is regulated and controlled, such reflection of the thoughts flow is termed as mantra. When sacrifices and other rituals are conducted as ordained by scriptures and when mantras are chanted systematically, such process is called karma. The construction of the world was done according to karmas. The world cannot exist without a name and form. In this way, the shackle with links of profound misery is formed with 16 colors. In human autonomy, each organ is influenced by a particular deity. When the soul reveals to the yogi in deep meditation, the 16 potencies merge in their respective elements. The powers in the physical organs of the yogi get mixed in the elements in the innermost recess of the universe. Human beings with organs of action and organs of knowledge cannot remain without action. Liberation cannot be achieved unless the ego is destroyed. Actions are performed only based on the prompts coming from the ego of man. Aham is a glow of consciousness regulated by the stipulations of the mind and intellect. For the yogi who had the vision of the soul, the fruits of actions done in the previous lives will get totally annulled. Unless the separatist tendency of the ego is completely destroyed, the vision of the soul will not take place. When the yogi has a vision of Atma, scriptural rituals and their reward, as well as the ego center and its illusory tricks, merge in the eternal Paramatma. The yogi will merge with Paramatma and will lose his individuality. Paramatma has individuality and is a personification of the Shakti. With the destruction of karma and its result, the yogi will attain Siddha Avastha even when his gross body is experiencing the effects of karma. If he has no awareness of the physical body, then he will remain in a liberated state. God may sometimes reveal his divine play through a perfect yogi. If the yogi mistakes that the strength and efficacy belong to him, then Paramatma would withdraw them and destroy his pride. If the yogi has to become an instrument in the hands of Paramatma, his egoistic arrogance must be liquidated in the super soul. Sri Bapanarya had transmitted power from the solar region into the Sri Malika Arjuna Linga in Sri Shailya, Mahabaleshwar Linga in Gokarna, and to other holy places. Transmission of power also took place into the ideal of worship of the self manifested Datta. This power related to the fire has to be pacified. Otherwise, the priest and all the worshippers will be punished due to the terrible power of the idol of worship, and undesirable results will follow. Only yogis who have occult knowledge can understand that the power from the solar region descended into self manifested Datta. The transmission of power in Sri Shailya took place under the direction of Sri Bapanarya in the presence of thousands of people. A brilliant illumination released from the region of the sun merged in the Malika Arjuna Linga, and all the people who were present there witnessed the spectacle. There is an important secret divine mystery in the transfer of power and the actual incarnation of Sripada Srivallabha. That is a matter to be divulged to or to be known only by great sages. In Sri Shailya, a great sacrifice of propitiation was conducted. As food was offered to thousands of people, the fire of hunger was assuaged on a mass scale. When Shakti sheds its ferocity and remains in a triangle state, all auspicious events happen in that placid state. However, there were no visible indications in Pitikapuram that Shaktipata took place into Sri Swayambhu Datta. Therefore, no proprietary rituals were conducted. Even when Sri Bapanarya suggested that massive food offering should be held and that other procedures of pacification should take place, the local pundits rejected the proposal with their ill conceived arguments. Shripada is the embodiment of all 16 potencies. Time was passing by. Shripada entered into his second year of age. Through his many sportive miracles, he was proclaiming that his was the glorious incarnation of the yawns endowed with all the 16 splendiferous faculties. He left Pitikapuram when he was 16 years old. Afterwards, he moved for about 14 years in Kurvapuram and other places, but his age remained constant as 16 years. The names of Dattatraya's 16 incarnations. There is another significance to the number 16. Sri Dattatreya Swami revealed himself in 16 forms in ancient times. Those forms are first, Yogi Raja, second, Atrivarda, third, Digambara Avduta Sri Dattatreya, fourth, Kalagni Shamana, fifth, Yogi Jana Vallabha, sixth, Leela Vishwambara, seventh, Siddharaja, eighth, Jnana Sagara, ninth, Vishwambara Avduta, 10th, Maya Mukta Avduta, 11th, Adi Guru, and 12th, Samas Karahina Shiva Swarupa, 13th, Deva Deva, 14. Digambara. 15. Datta Avduta. 16. Shama Kamala Lochana. First, Yogi Raja. Yogi Raja incarnated when Atri and Anusaya did penance at Himadri for the purpose of having children. His first darshan to Atri and Anusaya was on full moon day, which was Wednesday with Kritika star in the month of Kartika, and when the sun was rising. Swami was like an immaculate gem, passive at the time of this manifestation. Atrivarda, Atri Maharshi was in the state of Samadhi for 100 years while having darshan of this form. Due to the intensity of the penance, the three lokas were disturbed. To calm down that, Dattatreya gave the divine darshan with 6 hands to Atri in Guru Hora in the early hours of one Padhyami of the second half of the month Kartika, which was a Thursday, with star Rohini, and granted him boons. This manifestation is called Atrivarda. Third, Digambara Avduta, Sri Dattatreya. Atri prayed the Lord, who came in the form of Atrivarda. Please grant me a son like you. Swami said, there is none equal to me. Therefore, I am donating myself to you. He gave darshan as an infant in Digambara form. It was on a Friday in the star Mriga Sira, the time of sunrise and the second day of the second half of the month of Kartika. This manifestation is called Digambara Avduta Tritattatreya. Fourth, Kal Agni Shamana. This Digambara Avduta Datta form was seen both by Atri and Anusaya in the month of Mrigasira on a full moon day, which was Wednesday. An exceedingly intense light emanated from his eye and entered the womb of Mother Anusaya. After entering the womb, its intensity reduced. That highest light changed into a male fetus. This is named as Kal Agni Shamana Datta. My dear Shankar Bhatt, it is the Kalagni Shamana Datta that is being worshipped in the house of Appal Raja Sharma from many generations. The time of Sri Datta's incarnation and the time of Sripada Srivallabha's incarnation. Yogi Jana Vallabha. Kalagni Shamana, who is our Swami, was born as a playful infant on the evening of one full moon day. At the time of sunset, in the month of Margashira, on a Thursday, and in the star of Mrigasira, that form is called Yogijana Vallabh. My dear, in this Kali Yuga, for the first time, Sripada Srivallabha was born at the time of sunrise on an auspicious day of Ganesh Chaturthi with Tula Rashi, constellation Chitra, and Leo ascendant in Pitikapura as the son of the great meritorious mother Sumati. 6. Leela Vishwambara. Many great munis requested our Swami, who manifested as Yogi Jana Vallabh, to initiate them into the yoga path. To test them, Swami created an illusory girl. Playing with her, he dipped into a river and disappeared. This is called Leela Vishwambara Avatar. This Leela happened on a Wednesday morning on the full moon day of the month of Pushya. My dear, that illusory girl was none other than Anaga Mata, who is the other half of Dattatreya. That divine auspicious form is in the left half of Sripada Srivallabha. In the right half of is Sri Dattatreya. So Sripada Srivallabha form is in the form of Ardhanarishvara. This is a divine secret. Sri Datta's other manifestations. 7th. Siddharaju. Our Lord lived in Badri Kasharam for some time. There Siddhas tried to test Sri Swami. Then Sri Swami deprived them of all their powers. When they surrendered, he granted Atma Siddhi to them. This happened on a Thursday afternoon on one full moon day in the month of Magh in Maghasta. This form which granted Atma Siddhi to Siddhi Munis is called Siddharajus. My dear, exactly 2498 years before he manifested as Sripada Srivallabha on a Ganesh Chaturthi, one strange thing happened. Great yogis who were in various higher spiritual states did intense penance in Badri Kasharam and prayed for the darshan of Lord Datta. Then the Lord gave them darshan as a 25-year-old young form. He taught them Kriya Yoga, which was very ancient and which accelerated the progress of the transformation of souls. The mental consciousness, which is a natural course of transformation, takes 10,000 years to reach the wholesome state, will achieve it in a few years because of Kriya Yoga. The great power in the highest dynamic plane will be attracted into the consciousness of earth, water, air, fire, and sky. And in accordance with the will of Mahashakti, the gross bodies in the lower planes will be transformed. This is called Kriya Yoga. This is the most secretive type of yoga of Sri Dattatreya. With this, the molecules in the body will get charged, oxygen. The carbon in the body will be removed. This is the royal path of defeat death and become Mrityunjaya. They call that form of the highest teacher who taught Raj Yoga as Sri Babaji. It was Sri Babaji only who appeared as Chandala to Adi Shankara and taught him knowledge. He is still present in the physical body. The yogis forgot to ask Dattatreya, who gave darshan as Babaji, to take birth on earth. They regretted that all those great yogis reached Kaivalya Shrunga Sthar, which is between Nepal and Bhutan, and did intense penance. Among them, there were many yogis who were some hundreds of years old. They performed great penance. Hearing their prayers, the Lord gave darshan. As a result of their prayers, an enormous light equal to 100,000 suns light appeared in the sky. This enormous form took the shape of an old man. They called that great lord as Sri Vishweshwara Mahaprabhu. They prayed him to keep giving them darshan at all times. Then the Lord said that he would give darshans once in 12 years. They said that it was a long period. Then he said that he would give darshan once in 6 years. They said it was also a long gap. Graceful at heart, he promised that he would give darshan once every 6 months. Then those Siddha groups asked him to take birth as an avatar on earth. Then Sri Vishweshwara Mahaprabhu promised that he would take birth as Sripad Srivallabha in Pitikapuram after 2498 years. He also promised that his partial manifestations would come 12 times and the 12th avatar, Sri Ramlal Mahaprabhu, would grant Nirvikalpa Samadhi to a monk by the name Vasudevananda Saraswati. Vasudevananda Saraswati will later identify Sri Bapanarya's house in Pitikapuram where Sripada was born. But he will not be able to install Padukas in that place because that opportunity of installing Padukas will be given to someone else. My dear Shankar Bhatt, remember that the will of Sripad Srivallabha is the only reason for work to happen, not to happen or to happen in a different way. I said, Sir, Tirumala Das, the installation of Padukas is a small thing. To install the Padukas in the birthplace, is it required to wait for centuries? Tirumala Das said, My dear, that is the play of Shipa Shivala. Without his will, even a small leaf will not move. In the Badri forest in Dronagiri, which is also called Sanjivani Mountain, he appears as a 25-year-old person and is called by the name Babaji. In the Kaivalya Shunga Mountains between Nepal and Bhutan, he is seen as an old form by the name Sri Vishweshwara Mahaprabhu. Now he is giving darshan as a 16-year-old child monk in Kurvapuram. He is in these three forms at the same time. Sri Kanayaka Parameshwari, who is Adi Parashakti, is in a cave in Dasama Medha Ghat as Babaji's sister. My dear, Shripada's plays are unthinkable. They cannot be understood by arguments and are never seen or heard before. The Vaishya Munis did great sacrifice in Kashi under the direction of Maharshi Markandeya. Then Sri Kanayaka Parameshwari gave darshan in Daswamedha Ghat and blessed them. That was a full moon day in the month of Ashad. Veda Yasa was also born on the Ashara Purnima day. This Purnima is called Guru Purnima. Sri Dattatreya is the guru of all gurus and is the first teacher. Samskarahina Siva Swarupa. Parshurama was doing a great sacrifice. On a Monday, on the 8th day of the first half of the month of Shravana, Swami sat under a Krishna Malaka tree and taught his real essence of Shiva to a Muni by name Pingla Nath. This is called Shiva Swarupa or Samskarina manifestation. Deva Deva. Brahma once forgot the Vedas. On one Thursday, on the 14th day of the month of Bhadrapada, in the Shatabishasta, he surrendered to the Tattaya and Swami granted him the Vedas. This is called Deva Deva Avatar. 10th, Digambara Avatar. Swami gave darshan to King Yadu and told him about his 24 gurus and graced him. This is called Digambara Avatar. This happened on Wednesday, on the full moon day in the month of Ashwayuja. 11th, Datta Avdhuta. There was a good devotee called Goraksha. He is also called Gorakshanath. Swami manifested to him on a full moon day in the month of Jeshta. This form is called Datta Avdhuta Avatar, and the followers of Goraksha are in Nepal area. A copy of Sripada Srivallabha's horoscope is there in Shukra Nadi Grantha. In due course of time, it will come from Nepal to Sripitikapuram. From then onwards, countless people will come to Sripitikapuram for the darshan of Datta Padukas. 12th, Jnana Sagara Avatar. My dear, after the avatar of Siddha Raju Swami entered into his wholesome Jnana Yoga, this form which entered the Jnana Yoga in the early hours of Sunday, the 10th day of the first half of the month of Falguna, is called Jnana Sagar Avatar. 30th, Vishwambara Avduta. The Siddha Munis who took Jnana Yoga from the Lord continued their spiritual discipline. Test them, the Lord took the ugliest form. He showered wholesome grace on those yogis who surrendered to them. This happened on a Tuesday on the full moon day in the month of Chaitra in Chitrasta. This is called Vishwambara Avduta Avatar. 14th, Maya Mukta Avduta. There lived a good Brahmin in Kashi. On a Wednesday, on the 14th day of the first half of the month of Vaishak in Swatista, the ceremony of his ancestors was being performed. On that sacred holy ceremony day, a beggar wearing a lion cloth entered that house with his dog and desecrated it. The Brahmin's anger crossed the limits, but the beggars made his dog chant the Veda mantras. The Brahmin recognized him as Datta Swami and fell on his feet. That was the same Brahmin who became a great devotee of Datta by the name Vishnu Datta in one birth. Swami was pleased and gave a boon that he would take the avatar of Sripada Srivallabha the married couple would be born as Sumati and Appal Raja Sharma. In their house, they would worship Kalarni Shamana Datta Murti and he would be born as their child. This form has the name Maya Mukta Avduta. 15th, Adi Guru, the dual form of Tattaswami and Anaga Lakshmi that manifested to kill Jambasura is called Adi Guru Avatar. 16. Shama Kamala Lochana. On a Wednesday, on the 12th day of the first half of the month of Kartika, in Revati star at the time of sunrise, Sri Lord Datta gave darshan to countless people with the black lotus like eyes, Shama Kamala Lochana, spreading the nectar, rain shower of divine light rays from his eyes. This manifestation is called Shama Kamala Lochana. Lord Sridatta grants happiness, enjoyment, and liberation. To worship him, it is enough to worship his divine Paduka. The four Vedas assume the form of four dogs and are licking his holy sandals. The Vedas absolve all impurities. When such Vedas themselves became dirty dogs and lie at his lotus feet, it is difficult for humans to understand his holiness. Even for the celestials and the seven sages, it is impossible. During the time of incarnation of Vamana, a sage by the name of Vamadeva Maharshi was living as his contemporary. During the life of the birth, his head came out of the womb of his mother at once, retreated into the womb after seeing the surrounding outside. Then, when the deities and hermits prayed, he was born again. He was Brahmajnani from the very birth. The same thing happened at the birth of Sripada also. As he was born twice, he is Dvija from the very birth. He is someone who has the knowledge of the highest self from the very birth. As he incarnated with complete, undivided and infinite non-dualistic Sat Chit Ananda, there was no perceptor for him. Shripada was born on Ganesh Chaturthi in Chitra star under Tula Rasi in Simha Lagna. In reality, he is not the combined form of the Trinity, but a special phenomenon much beyond them, to indicate that he belongs to the fourth dimension transcending the Trinity. He took birth on Chaturthi, also suggesting that he is Ganesha, who is the lord of Pravritti Ganas and Nivritti Ganas. He took birth on Ganesh Chaturthi, Mars or Angarka is the lord of Chitrasta. Angarka is also called planet Mangala. If the planet is afflicted, many inauspicious events take place in the life of a person. Sripada was born in the Chitra star to remove all ill effects and to grant all auspicious results. Hence, if Sripada is worshipped during the tenure of Chitrasta, one derives abundant beneficial results. Sripada is actually Dharma Sasta. So, to make it known that he is the son of Hari and Hara, that is Sri Ayappa Swami, he was born in Tularashi. He was born in Simha Lagna, the house of the sun, the king of all planets. He is making it clear that he is the lord of universe and that he is the emperor came to hold his resplendent royal darbar. There are no niceties of dharma unknown to Shripada. When a dilemma of dharma arises, the right path of righteousness would be visible when we worship him. From Lord Siddhartha, the three Murtis, and from them the 3 crore of celestials, and from those celestials 33 crores of deities emerged. Therefore, when the name of Datta is remembered, it results in remembrance of all the 33 crores of deities. From the Brahma phase of Datta, Rishi Puja has to be done. For the Vishnu phase of Datta, Sri Satyanarayana Vrata and chanting of Vishnu Sahasranam are to be conducted. For the Rudra phase of Datta, Rudra Abhishek to be performed. As Saraswati resides on the tongue of Brahma, she resides on the Brahma face of Sridatta. As Sri Mahalakshmi dwells in the chest of Vishnu, she resides in the Vishnu face of Sridatta. As Gauri Devi occupies the left side of Shiva, she resides on the Shiva face of Sridatta. As Sridatta himself is Sripa Srivallabha, all goddesses and their powers are on the left side of the body of Sripada, and all gods and their powers are on the right side of the body of Sripada. Sri Venkateshwara, who manifested on the seven hills in Tirupati, is verily Lord Datta only. Vel means scenes. Katha stands for cutter or one who drives out. Vem is Amruta Bija and Katha is Ishvara Bija. There, Venkateshwara is the one who bestowed divine ambrosia and affluence. He is also the one who drives out all sins. There is no difference between Sri Venkateshwara and Sripad Srivallabha. They are one and the same. I asked, Sir, Tirumala Das, our ancient elders, enjoined that the regulations of caste systems are to be strictly followed. However, I feel that Sripada is telling something different. Please remove my doubt. The qualities of a Brahmin. Then Tirumala Das started telling like this: My dear, a Brahmin should live to seek Brahmajnana. Then only he will be called a good Brahmin. One who abandons the ardent duties and follows bad ways becomes a bad Brahmin. When his bad ways exceed and he indulges in such acts as killing a cow and eating its flesh or coveting other women, it may be understood that he does not possess even a iota of Brahmanism. On account of an excessive bad conduct, the Brahmanic glow in him would be totally withdrawn. Even the life cells in his body undergo many changes and he finally becomes a Chandala. Then he becomes a Brahmin for namesake. A Kshatriya with an intense desire for Brahmajnana can attain Brahminhood through constant penance. Then the life cells in his body from birth get transformed into Brahmanic nature. Vishwamitra achieved Brahmanhood in this way. When Saturn travels through three zodiac houses during 7.5 years, the life cells in the body of every individual undergo many changes. Old life cells die and new life cells are created. All this process goes on without the knowledge of a man. The qualities of Kshatriya. A Kshatriya who lives his regular duty and engages in peaceful activities like agriculture, animal husbandry, and trade, his military warrior will not at all remain. If the peaceful occupations reach a zenith, his mind, attitude, and body undergo many changes and he will become a Vaishya. A Brahmin who follows the path of a soldier becomes a person like Parshurama. Have not Dronacharya and Krupacharya, though Brahmins by birth, adopted a knightly profession in ancient times? Have I not realized Brahmin through the grace of Sripada, even though I am a low caste Shudra? A person who is born as Shudra can become a Vaishya or a Kshatriya or a Brahmin through relentless endeavor. Yamadharma Raja will not punish or spare anyone simply because of the birth of a person in a particular caste. Rewards are awarded based upon the good and the bad deeds of ours. I may be born as a Brahmin in the next birth, even though I am a Shudra by birth now. A Brahmin by birth now may take birth as a Shudra in the following birth. Caste system is organized for some social regulations. Once Sripada said that the Almighty face indicates Brahmanatva, hands indicate Kshatriyatva, thighs Vaishyatva, and feet Shudratva. Shankar Bhatt, you are accepting the hospitality in our house. The meals in our house are Brahmins' meals only. The secret of karma. This surrounding area, which is constantly reverberating with chanting of Sripada's name and is filled with thoughts about him, is overflowing with auspicious and sacred vibrations. Naraswadhani is a Brahmin by birth, but all the material, mental, and spiritual pulsations in his house are venomous. Therefore, Sripada rejected the hospitality in that Brahmin's house, which was filled with polluted, airy atmosphere. This is the secret. Living beings should have some caste to take birth according to the principle of karma in the process of evolution or involution. This arrangement was made for the purpose. John, a German national, was a seeker of Brahmajnana. Because of his sincere efforts, he had the good fortune of having the vision of Shripada in Kurvapuram in the final stages of his spiritual evolution. He was blessed with the efficacious grace of Shripada even though he was an alien. Though a resident of Pitikapuram, Naraswadhani could not recognize Shripada as an incarnation for many years, and though he recognized him at a later stage, he could attain the grace of Shridatta only after great and arduous effort. Then I asked, Sir, you said that living cells undergo changes. Will each race have a soul of its own? What is the idea behind the statement that Parvati Devi is a daughter of the Himalaya mountain? Then Tirumala Das spoke thus. Every grace has a soul. It is a mental material and it is a part that is released from the divine soul. Siddhartha, it has a great power which always has a direct connection with the divine soul. Race is not a collection of individuals born in it. As you mistakenly assume in that collective individuality, the various strengths, efficiencies, and attributes of all the concerned individuals lie inside. Just as the living cells exist in the living individuals, in the same way, each village, each town, and each country have their own souls. The earth in which we live also has a soul. We call that soul as Bhumata. It means that we call the deity favoring the earth as Bhumata. Her soul is a great power which emanated from the Supreme Soul and is related to it. In the same manner, the patron deity of the Himalayan mountain is named Himavanta. His daughter is Himavati. Then it is said that Yamadharmaraja is the son of the sun god who is the witness of all things. The meaning is that he is a divine soul who delivers the verdict considering the good and the bad deeds of living beings and punishes the sinners. It is only because of the energy derived from the sun god all the living beings are able to perform their actions. The sun that is visible in the sky is different, and the divine soul that supports the sun is different. I told you that Shripada would disappear when he is 30 years old. He will merge in every atom of countless millions of Brahmanandas. He is omnipresent, so you may ask what is meant by merging again. Even though he is omnipresent, countless millions of greater universe are situated at some distance from his power and influence. To accelerate the evolutionary processes in them, he attracts them nearer to his power and influence. When a certain crisis develops in the evolutionary stages of the entire creation, Dattatreya incarnates in this fashion. Magnet attracts iron. When the iron has impurities, its ability to get attracted becomes very weak. This kind of avatar descends when it is intended to remove all impurities, attract every atom in the creation towards him and give a fresh direction to the evolution of the universe. Explanation about five virgins. I asked Tirumala Das. It is said that uttering daily the names of Ahilya, Draupadi, Sita, Tara, and Mandodari destroys great sins. I am not able to understand this easily. Kindly explain me. Tirumala Das then said Devendra had infatuations of for Ahilya. He contrived a cunning scheme to get her. One night he assumed the form of a cock and crowed. Thinking that it was early morning dawn, Gautama went on to perform rituals. Devendra could not touch Ahilya because she was a chaste woman. Devendra had divine powers. As he had divine power, the strong will under the infatuation of Ahilya turned into a power which emerged into a woman resembling Ahilya. All the living cells in the body of the duplicate Ahilya were formed by the strong mind power of Devendra. Gautama, who saw Indra indulging in the sexual intercourse with the duplicate Ahilya, cursed them both. Then Ahilya exclaimed, "O foolish sage, what have you done?" Ahilya was spiritually in a higher position than Gautama. Due to the curse of Ahilya, Gautama's mind was disturbed for 12 years and regained normalcy after adoring Lord Shiva. The mental power of Ahilya became inert. With that, her body also became inert and turned into a rock. Ahilya was redeemed from the curse when the dust particles from the feet of Sri Rama fell on her. Therefore, understand that Ahilya was a pure soul. The cursed Devendra took birth as the five Pandavas. Even though having five forms and five minds, the soul which was the support of them all was one. This is a strange thing. Sachi Devi manifested from the sacrificial fire as Draupadi. Her birth was not an ordinary birth. Also note that the god of fire hid the real Sita inside him. Ravana took Maya Sita to Lanka. When Sita entered into the fire, two Sitas came out. Therefore, know that Sita is a great devoted Pativrata. There are 27 stars in the 12 houses of the zodiac. The patron deity of the 27 stars was born as Tara Devi. When she was in her full youth, the patron deity of planet Guru, Brihaspati, loved her and married her. An old husband cannot satisfy a young wife. This is a travesty of Dharma. Violating the solemn pledges made during the marriage cannot be pardoned. When looking at Brihaspati, Tara Devi could not get the feeling of looking at the husband. The responsibility for evoking the feeling of a husband in her rests with Brihaspati. He who knew all dharmas behaved against dharma. In accordance with Tara Devi's mental feelings, the life cells in her body transformed in numerous ways. Her mind was filled with the form of Chandra. Her heart was under the influence of Chandra. The Tara Devi was transformed. Like this was not the same Tara Devi that married Brihaspati. So the union of Tara and Chandra was not against Dharma. As per the regulations of creation, Chandra has to go around all the 27 stars. It is not the duty of the planet Jupiter. If Jupiter were to be moved like this, it would become a transgression of Dharma. Anything which violates Dharma is bound to be destroyed. Therefore, it is a Dharma that the patron deity of 27 stars. Taradevi joins the moon, the patron deity of the Chandra Mandala. My dear, in consonance with the subtle Dharma, Taradevi is a Mahapativrata. When Bhishma was on his deathbed, made up of arrows, he taught Dharmaraja. Bhishma told, when bad things take place, they must be stopped, if possible, otherwise one should leave that place. Hearing that, Draupadi laughed. Then Bhishma said, while Draupadi's clothes were being removed, I kept quiet. In those days, I was eating the food provided by Duryodhana and others. Thus, my attitude got spoiled. That bad blood had flown out of my body now. Now my nature has no impurity. The truth has dawned. A living being takes many births in the process of evolution. It may be a born as a female in some births and as a male in some other births. It may also be born as an animal or a bird instead of a human. Mandodari was born as a male in one birth. In that life, he had a fickle minded wife, a cruel wife, and a gentle natured wife. The fickle minded wife was born as a monkey under the name Bali. The cruel wife took birth as Ravana, and the gentle natured wife was born as Vibhishana in the different kalpa. When Mandodari was born as a male, all the three were his wives. In the present birth, Mandodari became a wife to Vali and gave birth to Angara. Afterwards, she became the wife of Ravana. After the death of Ravana, she became the royal wife of Vibhishana. The life cells at different stages when she was the wife of Vali, of Ravana, and of Vibhishana were different and varied. Therefore, Mandodari is also a Mahapativrata. Then I asked, Sir, it is said that women and men should observe monogamy. Is it not polygamy reprehensible? The transformation of the cycle of karma. Then Tirumala Das said, what you are telling is very true. If a person subjects his wife to harassment without any reason, he will become a young widow for 7 subsequent births. If a man marries 4 or 5 females, he will be born as a female in the next birth. If the sexual desires and urges of those 4 or 5 females are not destroyed, they will take birth as males and have sexual indulgence with that female. If this happens all in one life, it becomes adultery, which is a sin. On the other hand, if those males marry her in different births separately, no sin arises. This is the power of the wheel of time. In this rotation of the great wheel, many such countless wonders take place. If one takes the birth of a female, then the duties of that birth have to be followed. So is the case with males. A sinner who separately separates a couple would take birth as a inch. He would be impotent, not belonging to any gender, and would be deprived of martial bliss. He experiences utter misery and undergoes mental agony. Eating meat is prohibited. Suppose one killed a goat and ate it in the company of 10 others. That goat experiences terrible pain at the time of the exit of life. Those painful reactions lie concealed in the airy region. My boy, painful reactions and happy reactions lie concealed in the sphere of air. Good deeds produce happy vibrating reactions and bad deeds produce agitating reactions. The dead goat intends to harm the 10 persons who ate it. On account of its thought about humans, the goat will take the life of a man. These 10 persons will be born as goats. In this way, the results of actions ensue. For every action, there would be a corresponding reaction. Therefore, men should cultivate the quality of forgiveness. A sattvic person would not like to eat the flesh of goat, even if he saw it. Even the even if the goat happened to be the man who ate it, if he forgives and grants its life, the wheel of karma stops. The collective virtue and the collective sin of the residents of Pitikapura fructified at once and became the cause for the birth of Sripada Srivallabha. Pious people realized him as Datta and derived auspicious results. Sinners did not realize him as Shridatta and suffered ill effects. Those who abuse Sripad fall into Raurava and other hells, even though they adore Shridatta. It is better to be silent if the matter is not understood, but one should not abuse that beautiful, divine, glorious, auspicious, and magnanimous form. Those who offer camphor arati to his face but drive nails in his feet, and those who abuse the incarnation of Sridatta would have venereal diseases. Not only this, Sridatta has added a peculiar yogic power in his sportive play of grace. For pious people, the remembrance of the name of Sridatta brings fulfillment of all their desires unasked for and without any effort. For those sinners who abuse Shripada, countless obstacles and undesirable things occur in strange ways. Shripada is a form of fire. He bears a fabric of fire. His body is an embodiment of the holy fire of yoga. To describe the efficiency of his holy paduka, even yawns are not sufficient. It is impossible even for the Vedas and Upanishads to describe the greatness of his paduka. Sridatta is Sridatta, regardless of how many yugas elapsed, or how many kalpas passed, or how many cycles of creation, sustenance, and destruction took place. This is none comparable to him. He is verily Sripada Srivallabha. Every atom in this creation bears testimony to this supreme truth. The reinstallation of self manifested Datta. A strange Avduta came to Pitikapuram. He was a mad monk. He was a peculiar ascetic who blessed people through curses and abuses. If he praised anyone, the fruits from virtuous deeds of the other person got diminished. The residents of Pitikapuram inquired him about the whereabouts of the self-manifested Datta. Then that Siddha informed them that the self-manifested Datta took a bath in all the holy centers and was resting in the river Ila. Then, when a search was conducted in Ila River, the statue of the self-manifested Datta came out. During an auspicious time, Apara, Sarvamangala Devi, Sumati Maharani, and Apparaja Sharma, shining with a Brahmanic brilliance, reconcentrated that icon. This was done according to the wish of that Siddha. Sri Bapanarya presided over the grand celebration, birth of Sri Vidya Ranyam. Bapanarya invited the Siddha of their house for Bhiksha on the day when the reconsecration took place in the temple. The Siddha agreed. He saw Shripada in the house of his grandfather. An overwhelming fatherly affection swelled in him on the divine child, aged 2 years, and who was treading softly on the floor. The child climbed onto the shoulders of his maternal uncle, Venkavadani. He was playing merrily with the tuft of the hair on the head of his uncle. He saw the Siddha and started laughing. Hearing that laughter, the Siddha went into Samadhi. When he recovered consciousness, Shripada said, Madhava, Bukkaradu will establish a Hindu kingdom as per your wish. When I attain 16 years of age, you will be with Hari, Hara, and Bukkaraya. May you become famous under the name of Vidyaranaya Maharshi. In the ensuing century, Govinda Dikshilu will be born in the house of your brother Sayanacharya. That Govinda Dikshilu is none other than you. May you prosper as a Rajarishi and a great minister of Tanjavur. Then tears of joy showered from the eyes of the Siddha. He embraced Shripada. Shripada paid obeisance the feet of the Siddha sportively. The Siddha exclaimed, What is the wonder? Then Shripada said, You will ascend Shringari Pitham and become well known as Vidya Ranyam. You will then be born as Krishna Saraswati, as the third one in the lineage of your disciples. You will have a lot of fatherly affection towards me. Therefore, when I incarnate again as Narsimha Saraswati, you will initiate me into the ascetic order as my preceptor. Sri Krishna Saraswati in Kashi, Kashi Vishweshwara, and Annapurna Mata are witnesses. You have to restore ascetic dharma. The manner in which Vajayapayajulu Madhav Acharya, belonging to Parasara Gotra, compromising of the sages Vaishishta, Shakti, and Parashara, became famous as Vidyaranya Maharshi, and some more things will be told tomorrow. Thus, Tirumala Das concluded the narration for that day. Victory unto Sripada Srivallabha Rajam Sharanam Prapadye